So I had this conversation recently with my mother-in-law about black hair. Welcome back to my channel. It's G here. So I am on summer holiday here in Italy, and I'm going to be showing you guys different aspects of my holiday. But one of the things that I think, since I've been doing this now for, this is like my 4th or 5th year here since I arrived, what I realized is that it's been a lot of like development and growing with a family that I met pretty suddenly. And if you don't know my arrival story, I'll put the link to that in the comments or the description. But what I've realized is that I have had some really interesting conversations, some really growing moments for myself. Don't do this. And I've learned a lot about different ways of parenting and culture and all of these things about families. So I'm going to be sharing some different aspects of the vacation, but also some discussions and things that I've had with my family here. So take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, like this should be actually really interesting. So I had this conversation recently with my mother-in-law about black hair. And if you guys are new here, I recently cut my hair. I colored it, obviously. Well, no, not obviously. There's some naturally blonde women with dark skin. But I've changed my look a bit, and my mother-in-law and I were having a discussion about black hair. So the other day, our 3-year-old, I was like, we're gonna wash your hair today, and he was like, I want Nona to do it. Grandma, I want Grandma to wash my hair. And this was the first time I think she's washed his hair. Now, I'm very particular and very specific with the kid's hair and everything. So he has a shampoo and everything. Anyway, she washed his hair because it's just hair, right? But later we start talking about the nuances of black hair, things that she probably she's like never considered, never heard of. And it started because she was like, I think she was basically saying how beautiful she thinks like the boy's hair is, how lovely she thinks my hair is, and she never understands why so many black women straighten their hair, because it's not its natural state, and for it to be natural is better. Which of course I agree with her. To have natural hair is better for all of us. So I got into the explanation of different things about black hair, from the fragility of it, because we have to cover our hair in satin and silk because it's so fragile, to the idea of acceptance in this world. For a lot of especially black women, and their hair is an issue, and like it's another thing that's policed. So I kind of told her about even myself, my journey. When I first started working in corporate America, I would always straighten my hair. I would always press it out before I had a job interview, because I didn't want any obstacle to be the reason that I didn't get an opportunity to have a job. And the one thing that she said that was like, because this whole concept was so like bizarre to her, so foreign, the idea that women are changing their hair for these reasons, because and I think I'm pretty safe to say I am probably the first black person that they know intimately. And so I'm pretty sure like they've never had to, I don't know, they've just not been exposed, I guess is the right word. They've never met these like people who had these life experiences outside of myself. So I explained to her, I'm like, yeah, you know, I used to have a really big afro, and I would press out my hair if I was looking for a job and I was doing job interviews, because I didn't want them to be like, oh, like her hair's unprofessional, her hair's this, that, and the other. And I was like, this was when I was really young, definitely before I felt like I had my career, my security in place. I think later in life, I didn't do that. So it's just one of those things, like, you think like it could be a barrier. And she was so like, wow, really? Like, this is something you guys like have to feel like you have to do? Because she was like, for her, it was like, well, if you have a problem with black people, how does the shape or my hairstyle change the fact that I still have black skin, right? So I can try and do something in my hair, but if they don't like you because you're black, how does that change anything? And the truth of it really doesn't. Like, if someone has racist tendency, how you wear your hair, things like this won't matter. But I told her there's this long history of all of the things. And I have to have this conversation in my really poor Italian, because I can speak very basically, very easily, but like to try and explain these types of concepts, you know, and translate them in a language that's not my own is also a challenge. So I think it was interesting to see her perspective, and even my father-in-law was like listening in. I could see his face like, wow, like this is like really something that you have to like think about. They would never cross their minds that like this is something that people think about. And I don't know, I was impressed because they were so open to listening and understanding. They didn't try and say, well, but, or, you know, anything like that to justify. Like, it was just like a very open conversation. And, you know, I was being heard and understood, and they were now like seeing something different. And a perspective that they had never had to consider was reality. And I think like those kind of moments help them understand like the world that their grandsons, their little brown grandsons, are growing up in. So I think, you know, it's a different perspective, because also, you know, here in Europe and Italy, Africans, most black people are seen as Africans, whether you know, like that, like that's just the first thing that comes to their mind when you think about when they see someone black hair. That's the first thing they assume, is you came from Africa, like very directly. And I think it's just interesting for me to feel like their perspectives are opening up and seeing, you know, the world differently, even at their age. So I don't know, I think I have been having really like these kind of open and honest conversations with my in-laws, and like my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. Like, they're all very I don't know, like loving and caring and understanding, and people who really do want to understand the culture and the nuances of being like a Black American and my experience here. So I thought like that would be a little interesting introduction to some of the stories and things that I have. Oh, that's another thing. So I also told her that I sleep with like a bonnet, right? Like, she'd never seen it. She was like, oh my, it's like, really? Like, even when you had your dreads, like you slept? I was like, yeah, I sleep with my bonnet. And she was like, what did you know her son say like the first time? I was like, I don't know. He didn't say anything, you know, because I'm also the first Black woman he's been with. So it's like, I don't know. It's not like I ever feel like I need to introduce something to someone. I'm just living my life. I'm going to go to bed. I put my thing on my head. I go to bed. Like, that's what you do, right? That's what anyone would do. And I'm like, so I am who I am all the time. I've never, you know, attempted to filter myself in this family, or hide something, or, you know, like whatever. So I'm just full on G all the time. So she had no idea even how sensitive Black hair is. And you know, because the idea that is that our hair is so hard or strong, you know, like, and that it doesn't need this like extra gentleness. Um, so you know, like having those, even that mental conversation about that mindset associated with black, you know? So all of this to say, I have had some really great conversations with my in-laws, and I think I'm going to share highlights of some of those things and some of the perspectives of, for me, that's changed in my life about family. So yeah, this is like, for me, like August has become about family and my family here, and I love the tradition that they have created for themselves in this family. So, and I feel honored to be a part of it. But that is that's it for now. Like, subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. I would love to hear your different perspectives about how things have changed with you, in any way, from being in a different place, in a different time, in a different family that you didn't expect to be in. So yep, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, guys. I am posting some really fun pictures of our holiday. So yeah, do all of those things, and that's it. Ciao ciao for now.